Good morning. Welcome to GameCola Family Game Morning. With me here today, as usual, we have...
I'm Blue Rider.
I'm Joseph Martin. That one specifically, in case you were confused.
Yes, the voice you are hearing currently, well, not now, but previously.
One of the voices you have heard in the past few minutes has been Joseph Martin.
This is Joseph Martin speaking.
Yes, as stated, this is Joseph Martin speaking.
Martin residents, please leave a message. That's how I used to have to answer the phone when we had a home phone back in the ancient times of home phones. I quack! !
I do recall I was at my grandparents' house for a family reunion, and like everyone was busy, so they were like, "Look, kids, can you answer the phone if somebody calls?" And I'm like 8, and I'm like, "What do I say?" And my uncle's just like, make a really deep voice and go, "Fulham residents." And then when they say like, and when they say like, "Oh, is Rex there?" just say, "1 moment, please."
I mean, like, that's what you had to do. That's what you did. Like, that's he's not wrong.
Yeah. So yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. So Jeddy is playing a video game that he swore he'd never play again, but at the same time, it's a different video game. Jeddy, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so here's the opening to the 7th Saga. This is a game, and I was thinking about it, I don't actually remember when I played it first. I feel like we must have rented it, but what I do remember is that later, in like 1996 or something, I picked it up at Flea World. I have like this whole memory about like going to Flea World and finding it and being like, yes, I found this game that I played before. And that like they put it in to show that the cartridge worked, but there's this opening that you can't skip, so I'm just like sitting there waiting for, hold on, actually I can reset it, is that it does this, it just shows you this for like 30 seconds before you can do anything, and I'm like, yes, it's working. You don't need to wait for something to happen. I know what the game is and it's working. Please just sell me the game. And then they wanted $14 and I'm like 10 at the time. So I'm like, well, how about 10? And the guy's like, okay. and then he hands it to.
$14 is a lot back then too, though.
Well,
right?
keep in mind it was like a 3-year-old game at the time.
Right.
So
that's what I. Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it was
yeah.
basically new,
Okay.
but not the full $60 or whatever that it would have been. But yeah, like I saved up my allowance and I was gonna buy this game. But like he hands it to the girl at the register and she puts in $14, and me being 10, I'm like, well, but he said, and then I just give her $14.
That's how they get you. That is a classic
Yeah.
corporate tactic.
Oh,
To
not
say
even
that they'll give you a discount and then not actually give you the discount.
not even corporate. This is like, a stall at Flea World, the largest
of course.
indoor flea market. But yeah. So the
The
point
largest
is,
corporation, the flea market, the flea
Yeah.
market industrial complex, the true bane of society.
Proper
So-
noun.
yeah. The point is, begin all in lowercase, free. This game stuck with me for some reason. The fact that it's an RPG, but you get to pick your character at the beginning.
Yeah, that sounded cool.
So like, here's all the characters. They have different, stats and different stat progressions and like different abilities. Like this guy,
Hmm.
the knight, human. He can cast like a couple healing spells, but mostly he's like, I guess he's supposed to be the average one.
Yeah, he looks kind of uncomfortably like Doom Guy
Yeah,
or Master
Master
Chief,
Chief.
maybe,
yeah, RoboCop.
depending on like
Um,
which way you kind of like push the color palette in your brain.
I always liked, he's not a robot, he's a tattoo gene.
One of the other things that, like, knowing what I know about RPGs of this era, there, like, when there are as many stats as this, there's like 3 that are important and
Yeah.
5 that like are nothing.
Yeah,
And so, like, then that means that like there are some of these characters that are just objectively better than the other characters.
yeah. I think part of it, keep in mind, however, is that they're putting your weapon attack and your armor defense as stats. So there's really
Mhm.
only power, guard, magic, and speed, and then your equipment. Which you'll notice
Yeah.
that, like, the robot has way higher than everybody else, but that's because he doesn't get equipment.
Mm.
And then the alien also has like everyone else is like 1-1 or 2-1, and he's got 2-2, and that's because he doesn't use equipment either, but his goes up regularly.
I see.
So yeah, you've got some differences. Is like this guy can cast a couple healing spells and is mostly about like hitting with the sword. This guy hits with the axe, but gets like a couple attack spells, I think. This guy is completely useless. The priest, he's all he's good as a companion, but otherwise he's just so weak that
Yeah.
you're just gonna be healing yourself.
Sorry, is
the
there a
entire-
difference between human and human?
human? Oh, yeah, they don't say it. I guess that's the thing. Is like, they don't say what their class is, just what they are. So like,
Another thing, Jeddy.
Yes.
This I thought this isn't the game that we're playing today.
what do you mean? Oh, right, yeah. So today we're going to be playing Nard, which is, I wonder why they changed the name of the game.
Probably because El Nard doesn't mean anything.
And like, if anything, it sounds bad. Like El Nerd or
Yeah.
something. Like, I don't know.
It sounds like someone doing a terrible, absolutely atrocious impression of someone trying to insult someone else in Spanish.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say.
To a El Nard.
Yeah.
Like, it's what like the American character like would do if they were trying to they were in the 90s and also trying to insult someone in Spanish?
Yeah.
Mm.
So okay, but let's go ahead and let's try to pick our character. I think actually I'm gonna go with the alien. He was always between him and the robot. They were my favorites because they don't have to deal with equipment, because equipment is weird and confusing in this game, and that like it's also expensive, and there's so much grinding in this game that not having to deal with equipment is always a good thing. So yeah, the last time that I played, if anyone read my 2 memory cards articles that I wrote about this, I found out a couple things. Is that apparently Lux, the Tetu gene, which, Joseph, do you know anything about Tetu gene? Does that ring any bells? If I said,
I mean, it seems like it's some sort of like robot. Like gene is obviously like species
yeah,
is the
like a
idea.
person, yeah,
Yeah, and Tetu.
yeah,
Yeah,
does it make
is this a reference to Mario Super Picross?
No.
Where I would know this from? No.
No,
Okay, then I don't.
Well, are you familiar with Tetsu?
Maybe if you say more words about it.
Oh, well, basically, Tetsu is iron, and Gene is
Oh, that's right.
like
Right.
a kind of person.
I was thinking of it as like a proper noun.
Right, yeah, no, yeah, because it's capitalized. So I do like that they call him, in Japanese, it's going to be Tetsujin. They call him a Tetujin, in English. But he's supposed to be an Iron Man, which is a robot, because it's fantasy, but there are robots.
So he's more like I mean, like usually the way that is done is like Iron Golem or something, where it's like, it's a robot, but like in a magic way.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Well, I don't know that we're even going to get that far, but, and that's the thing. Like, look at this. It's a fantasy world with elves and dwarves and demons and wizards and knights, and you've got a robot and an alien.
I mean, they were creative. I mean, like this definitely reeks of like this was their idea at the beginning, and then maybe they had trouble with the actual video game part.
Hold on. Yeah. Should I go with Game C or should I go with GCNet?
Well, is this still the 7 Saga?
Yeah, well, I just want to like show the very beginning, like,
okay.
So you can see it and everyone can read, and I don't have to like explain quite as much.
Yeah, GCNet I think is probably, if we only get 5.
Yeah, it's fine when it's Gamiko. Okay, so yes, you've trained well in the past 5 years. Finally, the time has come to test your skills and knowledge. Your mission is to find the 7 runes hidden somewhere on the planet Tychondera. I've never understood this name Tychondera, but when you have all of the runes together, they will give you tremendous power, and you will become the leader of this world. I also don't know, is he King Lemuel or Lemely?
Probably. Oh, I don't know.
I guess.
Wait, why is everybody else here? I thought we'd have to like go find them.
Also,
they're all here.
Can we talk about this democratic system here? Or not political power system here? Whoever finds the 7 rock things gets to be the leader.
Well, it sounds a little bit less like gets and like has the ability to become the like. I think I don't think it's like
I do like that it switches from King Lemuel telling us this to us saying to him, but like in a way it reads as if he is saying to himself, King Lemuel, tell us more about the runes. Oh, why didn't you ask sooner?
Who said that? Anyway, I'll answer your question.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you I'll give each of you a crystal ball. It will help you find the runes. This is kind of cool, is that you have a little thing in the corner. They're explaining why you have a HUD. You have this crystal ball, and it shows you where, like, towns are, and also monsters, which is cool. Now get ready for the journey and bring the runes back. Each hero received a crystal ball. That's what I'm talking about.
Was the lore idea here that, like, each one was supposed to bring back a crystal?
No.
And then you're gonna end up having to get it?
So...
Oh, you can talk to them.
Yeah. Okay, this is funny. That they're, like, explaining why you would pick them as your own character.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a bit late for that, isn't it?
Well, I
guess you're
believe
supposed-
the implication is that you play this game multiple times.
Yeah, which,
Okay.
oh man, you're never gonna do that. At least not in the English version. I am curious because, like, okay, if it takes 40 hours in English, and that's because it's a nightmare of grinding,
Mm-hmm.
will it... Oh yeah, I forgot that the robot talks in all caps. Sorry, hold on. I wish to find who built us Tetu genes and for what purpose. For what purpose? What was I gonna say? I don't work with anyone. He's cool but rude. This is the Knuckles of the game. But yeah,
Okay, Jeddy, you are aware that cool but rude is not made to define was not said about Knuckles the Echidna, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, it's Ralph the Turtle.
Ralph the Turtle. Okay, you just went from cool but rude, yeah, you know, like Knuckles. And it's like, Jeddy.
Wait, no, which one is it? Is it this one?
And Knuckles is generally more cool than he is rude.
Jeddy,
Depending...
don't talk to the bed.
No, sorry, there's I've played this game, here we go. I've played this game so many times that I know where there's like a bunch of secrets. I don't know why I'm even doing it because, like...
Oh gosh, searches.
Yeah, and having to go through the menu, what is this, Dragon Warrior? The
Yeah.
original? Like, this is the Super Nintendo, guys. You have
Wait,
the
can you,
capacity.
so wait, what are the menu options for when you, like, I don't know how you pull up the menu, I assume it's like X or something.
Yeah, so I do like...
Talk
his-
magic item. Like, these could just all be different buttons, I feel like, and search could just be talk, right? A is talk,
Yeah.
and if there's no one to talk, it's search. Right? Like, that's,
Yeah.
like, there does not need to be a menu here.
Oh, okay, so we're going into battle, and this is my favorite thing. This is why this game really stood out to me as a kid, is watching you go, like, if you're not expecting it to come into this, like, you're used to Final Fantasy, you're used to Dragon Warrior, and to suddenly be brought down to ground level on the map to look where the camera is looking at the monster that you're fighting in, like, a big sprite, and, like, look, you're there.
Yeah. Mode
yeah,
7.
This was like... Yeah, Mode 7, thank you. This really blew me away as a child. And I think this is what stood out to me about this game.
Yeah. Well, that didn't seem too bad. I thought it was going to be like you walk out and literally die to the first enemy.
Yeah, if you start with either of the casting characters, that does basically happen. It's just like luck of whether you'll actually make it. I am not sure if I'll be able to make it all the way to the next town. It kind of depends on how many. You can see all the monsters on the crystal ball over there.
Yeah. So what, can you, like, try to dodge them? Are they
so
faster than you?
You can't... Oh, yeah. You kind of can try to, like, avoid them, but there's this whole thing about, like, they are slightly faster than you, and they're a little wiggly, and you're like dodging parts of the map. So like you might luck out, but yeah, like this guy just kind of chased me down. But yeah, so this is what the 7th Saga is. Yeah, there we go. I'm getting a lot of criticals. I wonder if this guy has like a higher critical rate.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one of the stats that was.
Yeah, right. Okay, hold on. I think there's something. I'm trying to remember where it is. Back here. Oh, there are many jars. Actually, okay. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm going to switch now from
Here we go.
the 7th Saga to Nard.
So did you pre-play to this town?
No, we're gonna watch me play Nard. Ooh, Game Plan 21 presents. Oh yeah, and it's all in Japanese now.
So now that we have to commit, which character are we doing? The alien again, or? I
do think that the alien is the easiest because you don't have to deal with equipment. Meanwhile, the robot also doesn't have to deal with equipment, but apparently has a harder playthrough because of some stuff that happens late in the game. But
magnets.
How do they work?
Well, that would be a thing that could happen to a robot.
Oh, so apparently the world is called Nard.
It still doesn't make it mean anything.
I feel like the logo in English was better. Like, look at this weird, like, metal Nard. I don't...
Not a great color palette.
Yeah.
Especially for a fantasy game. It looks like it's like a sci-fi. I guess maybe because there's aliens and robots and planet, it is a little sci-fi, but like this seems like it's meant to be more straight up fantasy, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, oh yeah, he is Tetsujin. Oh man, this font. He is an alien. Oh, wait, what?
What?
Look at what he looks like.
Oh, is he different?
Yeah, he's not. He's naked now.
He doesn't have pants. Well, yeah, aliens don't need pants.
Okay, so like not only does he not have pants, he also has like a weird horn on his head. He had like he used to look like a palm tree or something. He had weird like guile hair.
I mean, yeah, I feel like a lot of the iconography for this alien would line up more with like Western ideas of like a demon than an alien.
That's a good point. That like this demon is like a Western demon, and that this alien is like a Japanese oni, right? Kind of.
But he is called an alien.
Yeah, alien. Not even like an Uchujin or something. They call him an alien. Oh, that's gonna be even rougher if I'm trying to do.
Well, no, we can get game.
Well, not quite, because I have to put the g separate from the ka.
No, but
wait, what did I do? It's not ga. It's
gay.
Yeah, thank you.
Moo. Cold. No, that'll fit.
No, because hold on. Game moo. Wait, where's the moo? Co. Game co.
Oh, because you gotta put the long.
Yeah. Owari.
Do we have? I mean, wait. Is it really that different if we don't put the?
Yeah, I mean, like game in Japanese is geimu. It's not gemu.
Oh, okay.
So, oh man, it's so weird. Like the hi and the ie being in katakana, it's a little and that's weird because the font is so small. I think that they only have katakana in the tiny font. I guess that makes sense.
Okay. It's also weirdly like spaced out. Like you would think. I guess their text doesn't like. It can't be arbitrarily placed. They can't like split the difference. So like.
Oh
It's
yeah, they
E.
yeah, because it only has 3 characters. And like they can't just center the text. They have to put ha space E. Yeah. Oh. Nanatsu no arc. So they're not the runes, they're the arcs.
The magic stones.
Oh, okay, and also, oh, his name is Shida, and not,
The king.
yeah, not Lemille or whatever. But okay,
It's
so
always weird when they go in like a completely different direction, but then
Yeah.
also like just as like imparsible to
yeah,
like Lamille seems like such a specific choice that you assume that it was like
yeah, from something.
yeah, or
Um,
like something in Japanese, but no, it's just they were like, you know what we should call the king? Lamille.
Yeah, something.
Maybe
that
it's a
no
reference to something I don't know.
Maybe. So yeah, Shida-sama. So also when we talk, it's in red text.
Hmm.
Whereas in English, they did do that. Look at his weird, like, he looks like that picture of a frog standing up or whatever.
It does.
Oh, I get a crystal. And it'll show me the arc. It's so weird. It says, okay, but now the spiritual successor made by the same team, Mystic Arc, makes a bit more sense why people relate it to 7 Saga.
Because of the arcs.
Yeah, because they're called arcs in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, there's like a weird... Whoa, okay, sorry. If you want to talk to somebody, it doesn't say, like, hanasu, it says toku.
Wait, is it magic?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, these are all English, aren't they? I didn't read all of them.
Yeah, they
but
are,
the
yeah.
ones that I did.
Sachi, yeah, toku, majiku, itemu, statasu, and sachi. Oh, interesting. So, okay, I mean, the names, the demon was called Leges in English, and he's Legis in Japanese. Camille, like K-M, or K-A-M-I-L in English, but he's Kamuru in Japanese. Oh, that's funny. He explicitly
Is his
says that
name-
he's the #1 most balanced fighter. So,
Is his name Camel?
I think that would be Kameru. Okay, yeah, she's still
Hmm.
Esuna. Yeah, like, I don't know where they came up Oruban. Yeah, they called him Olvan in English. You can tell that he's old because he uses washi.
Mm.
Oh, and then he says no at the end. He's very old. You can tell.
You can tell he's old by the way he is.
Locks. Oh wow. Oh man, seeing it all in katakana is so silly.
What it?
Sorry, talking to Lux, the robot, the tattoo gene.
So wait, how do they stylize his text? Because all in katakana.
Yeah.
Hmm. Does that like imply the same sort of like tone as all caps would in English?
Yeah, kind of. And also like, I guess in Japanese it seems more old computery. I guess you get the same effect from all caps. Like all caps can also be translated as like he's yelling at you.
Right.
But also
Yelling, but also like flat. right?
Yeah.
Like if something is in all caps, then it's like a consistent yelling. Whereas like if you have a sentence where then one word is in all caps, and it's like
Yeah.
it conveys like a certain level of like tone shifting.
Yeah. But also, like, if you think about an old-timey computer terminal and it's going to be in all caps, you know, command question mark. This is so weird. So yeah, I guess I appreciate that he's...
I love his little walk.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little
he's
weird,
really
right?
throwing his arms out.
Okay, so that's interesting, right? Like, I just went and I got the free mirror, but there isn't one here in Japanese.
Wait, there isn't? Didn't you just... It looked like you...
No, I didn't get anything. Like, I did the search, but he just says it looks like a comfortable bed or whatever.
Is it some... That... Okay, that's strange. So they moved... Is it like in the shelf, maybe?
I mean, I'm gonna assume... Yeah, they just say... There's a shelf. There's a lot of books. I'm gonna assume that, again, in the same way that they made the American version more difficult, that they added some, like, secret stuff.
Dev path?
Well, like, that Americans like hardcore gaming, so they're gonna want to, like, look around for secrets, and if there aren't any, they're gonna add them in for us.
Well, one of the things I know is that, like, you know, games of this era sometimes were, like, specifically designed with, like, obtuse secrets in them, just to, like, because then you could sell, like, guidebooks.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
I know from interviews that I've read that, like, a lot of the secrets in the Mega Man X games were, like, specifically designed to, like, need guidebooks for them, because then you would get spots in, like, because I don't know if Capcom would actually make the guidebooks themselves, but like either that you get like some sort of merchandising or licensing rights from that, or just like the, you know, the attention of, oh, here, you know, in this spot in this gaming magazine you get like an article about here's all of the stuff that you can find in this game. And it's not like the internet where, like, it's like, oh, yeah, this is in my magazine, so I guess I'm going to read about all the secrets in this video game.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe that was, like, something they did for the Western market, to be like, we're going to put secrets everywhere so that we can have news magazines write articles about where all the secrets are.
They did have a really big article in... Sorry, hold on. Attack, guard, magic, item, yeah. Escape. In Nintendo Power. I remember it, that, like, they had redone all of the art.
I think didn't this game get like a 3 out of 10 in Nintendo Power?
I don't remember the rating. I just remember that, like, it had a lot of... Ooh, gobs. Okay, sorry. He's a Gobusu. And I have always thought... so in English, he's called a hermit, which makes no sense. But later in the game, there's a character that looks like a guy who lives in a cave. He's like an old man with like a backpack, and they call him an orc. And so I have a feeling that they just like put the wrong name at the wrong ID, and I think that this kind of confirms.
That's so weird. Like, it's not like, okay, yes, like weird translation errors are an endemic of this time period, because games were just starting to get enough text.
Yeah.
Right, like in the NES era, like, you know, a lot of games had like 3 words, and so it was like, okay, we'll just translate those 3 words. I'm exaggerating, but like, and then now Super Nintendo era, you know, you get the reign of the RPG, the JRPG specifically, and now games are full of text. But this wasn't just a okay, let's translate it and get out the door. Like, this game went through a strong localization process, and it's weird to me that the first enemy got the name wrong.
Yeah,
which I guess maybe speaks to the fact that the attempted localization for a harder difficulty just was terrible. But it's weird that they went that's a lot of effort.
I have a feeling.
To change things.
Yeah, I have a feeling you can kind of tell when a game. I think I've talked about this before. You can tell when a game was translated by a Japanese person because they get the context correct, right? But they don't know how to say it in English, so it just sounds awkward. Meanwhile, if an English person is translating, they won't have any clue what this word is and will just make something up. But in terms of the sentence is written in a way that makes sense.
Like a regular English sentence.
Yeah.
But it won't be incorrect and may not line up in the broader scale.
Yeah. And so this, I think, was translated. What? Can you move? Thank you. It was translated by a Japanese person. Oh, yes.
And so they wouldn't. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, there's some. Oh, that's interesting that now they say use or throw away, but in Japanese and not like yusu. Oh, perfect, great. Sorry, they give you items that will increase your stats by between 1 and 4, and it just immediately gave me 4. It wasn't like, oh, you got 1. But yeah, so yeah, there's some things with this game that I think are because they were translated by a Japanese person, and I think that part of that is if they have no clue, they're just given a list of names and given a list of memory locations, I'm gonna assume. That they
probably not even given a list of memory locations, probably just given a list of names.
Well, but think about they have to go and put them in. So either they got the list of names and they were out of order with the memory locations, or something like that, right?
Right. Someone gets. Yeah, I mean, what I would think is they give the translator a list of names. The translator returns the list of names, and then someone just goes through and puts some names in the memory addresses. And something got mixed up in the order.
Yeah. And so I guess, because the guy who's putting it in doesn't know English, right? So he's just like, I don't know, hermit, sure, Herm. I'm not really reading most of this. I'm just kind of.
So who made this game?
What was it? Game Plan 21 or something? I've never heard that because it says it's an Enix game, but that's just who published it in America apparently. So what I'm doing is, you have to talk to somebody to trigger what happens next in the game. Is that, and I don't remember who it is. I think it was the old man and old woman who I talked to at first.
Let's see. I'm looking at, so the name of the company is apparently Produce with an exclamation mark, according to Wikipedia. Company lasted from 1990 to 2015.
Interesting.
And let's see, we have, trying to pick out, we've got 7 Saga, Mystic Arc, which I'm guessing is their...
Yeah, the other one that I was
talking about. The almost sequel.
Yeah. Let's see, the Super Bomber, not all of the Super Bomberman games, but several of them. Super Bomberman 1, 2, and 4.
Okay, actually.
Super Adventure Island, which is just generic enough that I might have heard of it before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because it's called Super Adventure Island.
Oops. Did I make a mistake?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Trying to figure out, like, what did they make?
Thank you.
I'm trying to figure out, like, if the company existed
Oh, nice.
in, like, 2015, like, what did they make? Because these are all, like, Super Nintendo games.
Wow, you get a lot more stats. Okay, but my plan worked. I went out, I leveled up. It is interesting. The menu interaction sound is different in Japanese. I forgot to point that out. They made it less annoying in English.
It's nice of them.
But sorry, no, they give you some warm soup in your room. Like, that's such a weird detail.
So what is the, like, so you've just been given instructions to find these 7 rocks, right? Like, that's really all that you've been told, right? You haven't been given any instructions on, like, where to go. Like, obviously you're trying to get from, like, place to place. Also, is that one of the other people that you're trying to find the rocks before?
No, but you do
it's
see
just-
him around a lot. Like, he's a recurring character, I think.
But anyway, so, like, are you just sort of, like, meant to hop from town to town until you find something interesting?
Yeah, there is kind of like there's only one path that you can really follow for most of the game. So there's not kind of like too much question about where you're supposed to be going. Like right now, I can go show you just for fun. Oh yeah, when am I gonna run into an eagle or oh yeah, one of these guys? So basically, if you walk around, you're blocked off. And like one of the things that everybody was just talking about is that the Earth Gate is closed. What? Little toll? I'm confused about whatever that was.
Okay, so there, like, you can't go over the mountains basically right now?
Yeah, well, there's a
Yeah.
cave, but like in the cave, there's this gate and blah blah blah. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna go into the cave yet. Litoru Toru. I wonder if he's supposed to be a little troll. But yeah, you'll see that there's this cave, and there's a bunch of like dead things down here that are difficult to beat. So I'm not actually gonna go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you just walk around as you're supposed to in an old-timey... But man, look at this art though, like, appreciate... like the water...
Appreciate.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate
but also
it.
The sky, right?
The sky looks really good.
Yeah, like, this is quite a, appreciate his weird bottom, you know?
Yeah. At least it looks kind of, he looks kind of like he's got the thing from the Fantastic Four going on.
Yeah.
Which
Thing
makes it a
being the
little
name of
bit
the
better.
character, not, generically that you're forgetting what it's called.
Yeah. So right now, are you just grinding, or?
Yeah, cause like I think I'll go fight one more time. It is still slightly grindy. Like it's
So
not.
do you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt immediately, but do you get like other party members eventually?
Okay, so there's all the other people, right? And you could have picked
Right.
any of them as your main character. And you will run into them after you open the gate. You will come across them, and they, depending on which one, who they are, who you are, will define how likely they are to join you in
Is
your
it-
quest.
Is it just random? Like, obviously, like there's things that influence the luck, but at the end of the day, is it just RNG?
There's a little bit of that, but like the good people will not work with like the demon, right? So like Valsu, he's the priest. He's not going to work with the demon. Kamuru, oh yes, I leveled up again. Perfect timing. You know, he's probably not going to work with the demon. Meanwhile, the robot just doesn't care, right? So like the robot and the demon can work together. But like if you are playing as some other character, basically just never talk to the demon because he's probably gonna like fight you immediately. And once you initiate like discussing, like once you talk to them, you're stuck. And in the English version, there's a bug, which is like, again, why it's notoriously difficult, is that they toned down how much stats you get at level up. But when it goes to calculate how much stats another player character has, it did not factor in that.
So you get debuffed, but the other characters
Yeah, they are like
of the
exponentially
same level.
Yeah, like not that they're higher level, they're stuck at like +1 or -1, so like they're within one level, but the thing is that their stats are like double yours. And the first thing that they do is they use a bottle of power, which like doubles their strength immediately. So like there's no catching up. And like it's basically said that if you want to play the game, only go with like basically save before you ever talk to any other character, and if they fight you, just reset the game. And like there's all kinds of tricks about your level that you are after you talk to some guy after going through the gate defines what level the traitor will be. So like there's a traitor later in the game. I hope I'm not just going straight to the end. And yeah, I should probably head back towards the door. But like you want to be really low level. Earlier in the game, and then just like after that point power level for a bit, so that you can like, since their level is defined at what level you are at that point, blah blah blah, that like you can catch up, but
You can over level them basically.
yeah, because you're going to need to, because it is literally impossible otherwise.
So like how deep are like the mechanics of this game also, right? Because like right now it looks like you are doing a punch.
Yeah.
And like that's your main thing that you seem to be doing.
Yeah. Chikara no Moto.
Like is part of the reason that like it's so grindy because like there's not really any strategy beyond being a higher level than your opponent.
Okay, so it is funny is that one thing you might not notice is that I always do guard before doing attack, because that does power you up. Like, you are encouraged to guard because it makes your attack stronger. You learn that if you read the manual. But like beyond that, I don't think I have any magic currently. Yeah. Excuse me. Later you get like a completely useless fire spell.
Fun.
Yeah. I guess if I picked a different character, it might have more interesting, whatever.
I do like the little like radar instead of like fully random encounters, because even
Yeah.
if you end up kind of like running into enemies at the same ish rate, you feel like you have some sort of influence over it.
Yeah.
And so it's not just like, oh, I hope I don't take a step and run into an enemy.
There's also times where like it doesn't update every frame and they wiggle. And there are times where you will just like walk straight through one. That like
Yeah, I
like,
think I kind of saw it there.
Yeah. And what else? Oh yeah, the crystal ball also shows you where treasure is, and it shows you where towns are.
Yeah, I think that's good, like a good implementation, because I think it removes a little bit of the guff of just like, oh, do I need to wander around this? Because like what you're, at least when you're showing like hidden things, like, I mean, there's not like hard puzzles or like things you have to notice. It's like, is it worth it for me to go down this hallway?
Wait, sorry. You were looking up other stuff that these people made. Did you see Brain Lord in there?
Yes, I did see Brain Lord.
Okay, so it's funny. I tried playing Mystic Arc, and like as much as they say, oh yeah, it's by the same people, it's obviously like inspired. The battle looks inspired by this, but the rest of the game doesn't. But Brain Lord, like you were talking about, like, oh yeah, look at that guy, the way that he walks, it's so silly. Brain Lord looks exactly like this, like the same tiny head characters who like walk around like this. That's what Brain Lord looks like. And when I stumbled across it, because like I was just kind of going through my list of ROMs one day, I was like, here's one that I don't think I've played since 1998, Brain Lord. And it was wild because not only is it like obviously graphically like this, but the music is a very specific style, and I had to like stop after I heard the town theme, and I was like, no, this is the guy who did Cybernator. And I went and I looked up and I was like, yep, sure enough, the music guy from Cybernator did the music for this fantasy game. Like this robot battle, like very futuristic, like Japanese futurism from the 90s, like this style of music is being used in a fantasy game for some reason. Maybe I can play that on another GameCola family game morning. But so this is Nard.
Yeah, so so have you played the Japanese version before?
No, actually.
So how's it going compared to your experience with the 7th Saga?
I feel like it's easier so far. I do think I'm going to go back before I die because there's a boss coming up. And I will use the inn one more time. But yeah, I definitely feel like previous times, I think I'm going the wrong way, that I've played this game, that I had to be like level 7 or something to get through here. Yeah, and like these guys were not one shot. Or actually, maybe I should just use my Kaifuku Eki. Got 5 of them. Cool. Wait, what's my... I'm at max. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just keep going then. Yeah, I guess I'm curious because a lot of the difficulty is the fights with the other characters. And obviously that comes later in the game. But there is also a point where it's like, as much as I am caught up in the feeling of this game. Like, it has a mood to it, you know? I think this is where the guy is, actually, so I guess it's funny. Yeah, okay. Oh, and I wonder if he's actually gonna... Oh, okay, yeah, he does fight me. Okay. Oh, wait. I do wonder. There's a whole thing about, like, you're supposed to use the dog whistle. I don't think I got the dog whistle. Oh, man, it's going down really easy, though. But yeah, as much as I'm entertained by this game, I don't know if I actually care to sit and play a full playthrough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, with this is the issue that I always come when I think about, maybe I should play a JRPG. It's just, like, the main game loop for a lot of these is just, like, you know, you have your one attack, or your one good strategy.
Yeah.
That's the best strategy for everything. You go into fights, do that strategy until you're low on health, then backtrack to the nearest point, then go back forward, and sometimes you make the only choice you're making is whether it's worth it to use a consumable item to keep from backtracking.
Yeah.
Or to just backtrack.
Oh no.
And grind more.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Or did you get crit?
No, he used a drain attack. What? Oh, he's doing it again. Oh, he keeps doing it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to beat this guy. I might be wasting all of my Kaifukueki.
It seems like his drain attack is, like, also stronger than his regular attack.
Hold on, Yeah, I don't know if that's like... Oh, it was kind of weird. He was doing like a ton of damage with it. I think there's a point where they run out of MP though.
Yeah,
so
that was going to be my question.
Okay, and also maybe I can just kind of sneak in here. Okay, he's not doing it, so can I... Okay.
At least, I guess, I feel like for a game of this style to work, you really need to have, like, the additional party members, like, really early on, because otherwise you just don't have any sort of depth to work with.
Can you read what that says?
What's up? Let's see. Ku.
Yeah. What is that supposed to say?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of it as, like, H.
Like, I think it's supposed to be something... I think in English we call it Firebird, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember what the first fire spell is. But, like, I'm gonna assume it's Fa for fire, but I don't know. Oh, and I got the Earth Key. Yeah, now that you beat the boss, you just get to walk out. But yeah,
man, you don't even get, like, a little trap door that takes you outside?
They do that a lot of the time. That, like, the gate to leave will be, like, straight down from the boss chamber, but in this one, you just get to head on out. Let's see.
So you mentioned that, like, the character that you pick sort of determines how certain other characters in the world react, other, like, potential player characters react to you. Are there other things that change based on the character that you pick, like how townspeople react to you or anything like that?
Only barely. There is a little bit if you pick the demon that people will, like, give you rude responses. And if you pick the robot, there's a whole section, like, way late in the game where you suddenly find out, like, this is where you're from. Oh, that's interesting. And so they're like, oh, hey, welcome, here, have some equipment or whatever. It's like, wait a second, I'm not supposed to be able to get equipment. And, like, you get all these upgrades that like wow, yeah, one shot and all these guys. So like it's really fun and interesting how they did that part. I enjoyed that. And the alien also has a weird, like, I think it's something that you can just miss, is that there's a town that's like the town where you're from, and you get like a flashback and stuff if you go there. But for the most part, it's mostly the same. Trying to think of where I have to go. Right, I get to talk to these people. Oh yeah, I got the Earth thing.
Yeah, you got the key to the Earth.
Yeah.
So now you can unlock the Earth?
The Earth Gate. Hold on.
Is this like Earth as like the planet, or Earth as like ground? Like as one of the elements?
Well, yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that in English they just call it the Earth Gate, and so you don't really know, but here they call it Aasu, and so I'm going to assume that they mean Earth as in, like, the element.
What would they call it if it was the other thing?
Chikyu.
Which came first, the chickpea or the egg?
Wow.
So what's happening here?
She's telling me the story of I just killed a dog. Like
the story of I just killed a dog.
Yeah, there's this whole thing about I don't remember the story exactly. It wasn't like I was barely reading what they were saying. Like I just know there's like stuff where if you talk to certain people after certain events, different things happen. I think I'm supposed to go back and talk to this guy again, or it might have to be that I just talked to him now, but I talked to him later. Yeah, I have to go open it first. He gives me
riveting RPG gameplay.
There's a whole thing about you get the world map if you talk to that guy first, then go meet him later. Yeah. But yeah, something about when I talked to them before, and the old man was like standing outside, he was talking about how like his wife hasn't been able to sleep because they hear this like whine coming from the castle, or like howling, and you go and you defeat whatever that creature was that I killed in the castle, and it's like, well, you've put the soul of that dog to sleep. The king who... Hold on. Oh, Warhawk. Interesting. The king who used to live there, and I guess that his dog still resided waiting for his master or something. I don't know. I don't really remember, and I didn't really read it. But, yeah. Oh yeah, these guys. What are they gonna be called? Yeah, they're still pretty rough.
Oh, now you have to fight two enemies.
Yeah.
And the game, like, turns the camera around. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. It's interesting, actually, because I used to get, like, groups of 3 ghosts in the other ones. Oh, interesting. So they used to call them undead, but remember how I was like, oh, what's a little toll?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy is an undead toll.
An undead toll?
Yeah, I guess so, which is weird because, like, I never made a connection to think that these guys were supposed to be the guys who I was seeing on the outside, you know? Oh, is the gate right here? I didn't remember it being that close to the entrance. Actually.
So are you about to set the levels of everybody?
Not yet. You have to, like, talk to somebody afterwards. Oh, I forgot about this. Please. Great.
Forgot about what?
He can revive other enemies, but I think it can only work once, so he's gonna try again, and it's gonna fail. But yeah, like, he doesn't look like the guy that I fought on the outside. Right? Like, he looks significantly larger, and, like, they don't have weird hair. Oh, Metal Gate and Unday Toll. Yeah. Interesting. Hold on, I wonder if it's gonna play the music again. Oh no, it just opens. But I do think that I'm gonna go back to town, like try to level up and then come back. But that's what's fun about classic RPGs, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, this is a genre that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess my question to you is, like, what JRPGs, like, have solutions to these problems that, like, make it a little bit less of a pain? Or do you just, like,
well, I
it
think
doesn't bother you enough?
Yeah, like, I guess it's finally, you know, coming to the point where I don't care about the grinding so much. But, I mean, there's, several games where the, can I just kill them in one hit without doing the thing? Not quite. Sorry. It's balanced in such a way that you don't really need to grind. And oh, come on. Like you know, some of the later games, Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, they were just balanced well enough that you can just go through the game and, like, you have to fight, but you don't have to stop and fight things purposefully in order to proceed.
Right.
It's kind of a shame that I had to use that when I also am about to leave. I'll see if I can level up before heading back. What? Okay.
Did you scare him away?
Yeah, he ran, and also his run animation was really glitchy. I don't know if that's the emulator or if it's the Japanese version.
Is that just something that happens when you get to, like, a certain level?
No, they do just run away sometimes if you find them by themselves. It's, like, supposed to be an annoyance, is that, like, you don't get anything for it. So if you were fighting them and they just decided to run away, got a critical.
Is there a reason you're not beating up the undead first before they can, so they don't revive the other guy?
Yeah, I keep forgetting, because the thing is I can kill the other guy in one hit, right? So, like, that's one damage I don't have to take every round. How much do I have until I level? 186. I think I can do it. There was also a point where I spent my free time every day just right here leveling up before going through the gate. And the thing is that there's a I'm trying to remember where I read it. I read somewhere that the level cap was 50, so I was trying to get to the level cap of 50 to see if it would be better. Because, like, I didn't
It'll
really
be more fun.
Well, because I did know about, like, oh, how difficult it is. I was like, okay, well, if you get to the max level, then they shouldn't be able to be stronger than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't, like, quite understand how the game was programmed, that, like, actually I'm making it worse for myself by doing that. but there was
So
a
does
period...
everything scale?
Well,
I know some
yeah.
of the things scaled, but does everything scale?
No, not everything, but like I was trying to like make it so that I was on equal footing with the other apprentices, the other main characters, and like that's not how it works. Like behind the scenes, like it's not that they're higher level than you, and also apparently, like number one, the level cap is actually 80, not 50.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was just wrong to begin with. But then, what did I just get? They can be 81.
You got a GameCo. I know that's the name.
Yeah, no,
That was what was on the screen.
Oh, I got an opal is what I got. Sorry. But yeah, that like, because they can be plus or minus one level, they can be level 81. So like, even if I had gotten to max level, it wouldn't have mattered.
It's rude.
Yeah.
Why 80?
I don't know. I don't know if there's like, yeah, none of it makes sense. And I actually, I'm trying to remember, like I was reading a bit about it before coming here to play, that like, excuse me, it might be less to do with there being an actual physical prevention of you from getting to that level, but that the experience starts going up like exponentially, so that like, you know, you need 500,000, and then the next level you need 1 million, you know, EXP, and it's like, well, maybe I won't. Hold on, Kaifukreki Kaifuku no Ne. One no Kaori. Right. Ooh. What's a minnow? What's a minnow?
I do not.
Sorry.
A minnow.
Yeah, well, like these three things at the bottom, I know, like it's opal, something, and topaz, and that like they're gemstones. And what happens is when you die, you lose half of your money, but they don't take your gemstones. So you're supposed to just like stock up on gemstones.
I see. So it's like a bank, but instead of a bank, it's hoarding rocks.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna hoard some Kaifuku no Eki. And I'm also gonna buy topaz or 2. And there's also a thing where like you can only hold 9 of any item, so you're limited in like, if you grind too much, you can't actually keep your money because you don't have enough item space.
You can't store it all in rocks to keep it safe.
Yeah. Which is an interesting thing to think about. That like, I have a feeling they thought that out.
Yeah,
like,
that seems kind of like an intentional game design thing.
Yeah. So how's the chat doing? Does anybody care what we're playing?
Message and nothing since.
No. Nobody likes El Nard. They don't want to watch the 7th Nard, as I titled it.
I don't know, like yeah, that's a question of like, will people see the 7th Nard? I guess that you have the game in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
It might just be that there are not a whole lot of people looking for the 7th Saga
At
or
10
El
a.m.
Nard
on a Saturday.
at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I mean, like, was this? I mean, it sounds like what this game was famous for was just its localization, right?
Yeah.
How difficult the localization was.
Yeah. And, you know, JRPGs weren't incredibly popular at the time, so, like, I wouldn't call it obscure, but it wasn't a popular game.
Even within the realm of, like, JRPGs.
Yeah. That, like...
Because I feel like this era of the Super Nintendo, right, like when Final Fantasy starts coming into full swing.
Yeah.
And games from the Final Fantasy series start getting more regularly released in the United States,
Yeah.
and not skipping numbers and confusingly naming them. Like this is, and then like by the time we get to like sort of the next console generation, JRPGs are sort of in like their maximum heyday.
Yeah. Definitely.
Before nobody plays JRPGs except Pokemon, which is sort of where we've reached at this point, I feel like. Well, and Jay, oh hey Quack, yeah, no worries. This is definitely a game you can just kind of listen to.
Yeah.
But
So
you're afraid one of these chests is gonna eat you, Jeddy?
I know it's going to. I just
Oh,
can't
you're
remember
just gonna
which
show.
one. Like.
Are they hard?
It might kill me.
Oh, this just looks like a normal fight.
No, this isn't it.
Oh, okay. It looked like you clicked on the.
Yeah, no, I was like
Yeah.
right about to, and I got a regular battle.
I wonder when mimics first started being like a fantasy thing, right? Because like mimics, I don't know if they would really be like a narrative fantasy thing, right? Like it seems very much like a video gamey situation.
No,
Because
well, think not about video game, but about Dungeons and Dragons.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like game, like
Waiting for you to finish that was great, because you started with think not about video game.
Think ye not.
I do
about
not
yon
think,
video
therefore I
game.
do not am.
Yeah. But no, I'm pretty
not
sure
about a video game.
mimics, if they weren't in Dungeons and Dragons specifically, then they would have been in like Ultima or Wizardry or
Right,
one
right.
of those early
I'm guessing. I'm just curious, like where the first.
example.
Yeah, like who, like where, like I'm sure like games like
Okay,
Dungeons
here it
and
is.
Dragons, and
This
then
is
like
gonna be it.
Ultima, if it had it, like popularized it, but like was the concept
Oh, that's
based on? I mean, okay. It looks like it was in the first D&D.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I can believe it.
But I'm curious. I mean, everything is pulling up D&D.
Yeah, that's all I can find
History
too.
of
Oh, wait.
mimics.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna use we'll call it FARC.
Fuck. Let's see.
Oh, that's what happened. I learned stalk. So I can fark and I can stork. What do you think? Hold on. That's just fireball.
It looks okay. Sorry, I'm distracted about the history of mimics. This PC Gamer article suggests that
Oh.
it was like in the original D&D sort of like concepts, even before like it was officially canonized in the monster manual. Like
Yeah.
I'm guessing it
The
was
first
in some
picture
of the
of it
first.
was 3 years after its inception, apparently.
Oh, here we go.
Mhm.
Well, here's a boss. Are you guys ready? I think I'm gonna be fine fighting Paisan.
Hey, paisanos!
Yeah.
It's really interesting that, like, mimics seemingly just didn't exist before then, because they're so...
Well, that is my suspicion, right? Like, is that actually true, or is that just
Yeah.
like, where people, like,
No,
what,
it's not.
like, or if there was some other thing, and like, it sounds like maybe the idea of a mimic, as we understand it, as like the chest that can eat you, and is sticky and can also be other things, but is usually a chest. Maybe was like sort of standardized in D&D, but like, does that mean that Garrison Gygax came up with that idea? Was he inspired by anything? It doesn't look like the articles really say. They just kind of
I
jump straight.
can't find anything about that. But it reminds me of, like, Dan Brown actually invented triptychs. He, like, they're a puzzle thing. Like, they're in, like, Zero Escape has a triptych puzzle. And they just didn't exist until he came up with them. He was like, oh, I need a puzzle thing for this, so I'll invent one.
Is this the mimic that you're fighting, by the way, Jeddy?
No, this is Python, or I guess he's
No.
supposed to be Python, maybe?
Mm.
Hold on, Kaifuku. Yeah, he's not so bad. I probably should have used Fark and Stork on this guy instead of wasting it on some generic bad guys. That would've been a lot
But I
easier.
thought Fark wasn't actually like good anyway.
The spells seem to be a lot better than they were in the English
Okay.
version. I think it might have to do with the fact that I have, like, you know, double the amount of magic power than I would have at this level.
That's true. Does the equipment stay the same between the two versions?
I haven't checked the equipment. Okay, so this is gonna be where I run into the thing, and I'm gonna see. Okay, bottle of fire. No, okay, somewhere in here there's definitely a mimic.
You think they added one in the US version because it would make it harder?
Yeah, right. I guess we're gonna find out. Because I also don't want to get this. I guess if I die, it's not really that bad. I just get sent back to town because I also bought all those topazes. And, like, I have way too much money. I guess I have too much money because I'm not spending it on equipment. Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, he stole my final remaining 4 MP. What a jerk.
I guess one of the things that's interesting that I'm sort of thinking about is like how, like, you know, there's these two sort of branches of fantasy content. Like, one is like gamey kind, which, like, you can kind of lump in video games and D&D a little bit, like,
Yeah.
more so than you can lump in, for example, like a fantasy novel, right? Like,
Yeah.
the things that you need.
Okay.
Like,
so
a mimic doesn't make as much sense in a fantasy novel because, like, characters don't regularly come upon, like, chests and loot, right? Because the characters usually don't need a reward because the characters in the story don't need incentive to keep being in the story.
Yeah. Sorry, no, apparently they did add a mimic. Which is interesting, because, yeah, there's definitely not one here. But yeah, no, I agree that, like, there's tropes that are inherent in,
Whoa, look at this long boy over here.
yeah, right? I like that he has to, like, duck down to punch me, right?
What is this?
He is an android, I think is what he's called. No, please don't. Oh, no, he's not that bad. But yeah, these battles were... Oh, no. Please let me just kill him. Oh, ouch, no.
Another difference while you're screaming in pain, Jeddy,
Yeah.
is in a game like situation, for fantasy, you have to come up with a lot more fantasy creatures because you have to have a lot of things that you can punch.
Yeah. Like...
Whereas, like, you can have a fantasy story that is, you know, all humans, and
Yeah.
like maybe some of them know magic. But, like, it doesn't have to be, like, there don't have to be, like, fantasy creatures in a fantasy story. But, like, if you have a fantasy game without fantasy creatures, it's like either you're fighting people,
Yeah.
in which case, like, the sort of
He was
ethics
called
of
a
murdering
Bishu?
everyone you come across
Yeah,
becomes a little more uncomfortable, or you're fighting, like, animals the whole time.
yeah. And I mean, there's plenty of giant spiders and so on that you can fight, but yeah, it is kind of like how in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that the Foot Clan were all robots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that's sort of a thing of like games and also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Video games and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles need this one thing, which is things. Well, I guess in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're robots, so it doesn't matter. Is sort of the idea. But like with fantasy, it's like you need beings that are quantifiably evil, so that it's totally fine for you to murder them.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise, like what are you gonna do the whole game?
Yeah.
Right? And like that's something that video games in general kind of have to deal with. And sometimes it can be kind of hand wavy. Like sometimes like you defeat the enemies and like it's not really clarified that you're killing them. Like in Mario games, I feel like in a lot of Mario RPGs, like the flavor that they take is that Mario defeats these enemies, and even though they kind of like disappear and fade off of the screen, they're not like actually dying.
Yeah, that in Pokemon they faint, and in was it Earthbound, it's very explicit that it's like, oh, the dog went back to normal, or the guy went back to normal, or the dog ran away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're alive and they've left.
And something like also I think in Earthbound they're kind of like knocking the evil out of them. I think is sort of the idea for a lot of the things.
Hold on. I need to. Number 1, I need to find the guy. Number 2, I need to go save.
Oh, there's the guy.
Yeah, one of them. So should I try to get him? I'll go ahead and I'll go save.
So is it like a dice roll of whether or not he's just going to join you, or you're going to have to fight him? Is the idea?
Yeah, and I do not remember what his opinions are of the alien.
Okay, and also, is it random, like which person is here, or if there's a person here at all?
I think. Okay, he's here as well. I think it's based on the story where they will be, and there's like a slight amount of randomness because sometimes they'll steal your stuff and then you have to go find where they went.
That sounds like fun.
Right. I think he's in here. I'm supposed to be getting, hold on, the map from somebody.
While Jeddy is looking for this map, Blue.
Yeah.
Have you? What is your? Where are you sitting in terms of RPGs? Like, what are your thoughts? What is your brain space on the genre?
There's the demon.
I don't know. I like them.
Do you have some favorites?
I mean, Pokemon's always good. I mean, not always good, but
yeah, that's it. Perhaps untruer words have never been.
It's a classic for a reason. I would say.
Who's this guy? Oh, is he over here?
I really love when games have RPG mechanics, like, that give a sense of growth. And skill trees are great. So
Skill trees are good because they can help with sort of like helping define the incremental process. Like, there's something that I think many people who play video games can identify with, which is we like to watch the numbers go up. In fact, there are many games that are purely just, hey, watch the numbers go up.
Yeah,
like any of those like clicker kind of games.
I'm not so much about that necessarily as you can make this stat go up or this stat go up, and it will change your play style.
So like choice.
Like in X-Men Legends, you can have like tanky Wolverine that heals all the time, or glass cannon Wolverine that's slightly offset by his healing factor.
So Sorry. They're sending me on this stupid thing where it's like I'm supposed to visit Gain at his house. Oh, well, this is Gain's house, but he's at the church right now. Oh, Gain? Well, he went to the bar. Oh, Gain? He just left for the weapon shop. Oh, Gain, now he's over by the port. They're just sending me running around this stupid town.
And I'm guessing you can't just like know where he ends up being and then just go there.
It's that they're explicitly sending me. Oh yeah, he went home. They're sending me in a circle. This is how you increase playtime in a game.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this isn't his house. Oh, so who do you think we want to get? Keep in mind that getting a partner halves how much EXP you get. There he is. So like, there are people who prefer to do solo runs. So maybe we can...
Well, I mean, I guess the like our options, it sounds like, are Doom guy or healer, right?
No, there's the knight.
I thought I froze.
You kind of did. You were a little glitchy, but it's fine. So yeah, there's the dwarf, who is also a fighter.
Mm-hmm. Who's a Oh, okay.
There's.
I thought the cleric was there.
No, I don't think I saw him, but the demon was. Yeah, he's here, which I don't know if he'll join me or not. He might join me because I don't think he hates the alien.
Is the demon good? Like,
yo.
how are we doing the demon?
Well, I'm gonna see. Oh, I don't think you can do it, but maybe. Oh, okay. I guess he just doesn't care. Yeah, I guess he doesn't care either way. So that leaves us with either the dwarf, like basically two fighters. The dwarf is more defense, and the other guy is more average, I guess. Balanced. Is there anybody in here?
I mean, I worry that like the fight, like,
it might be better at this
in terms of
stage.
being a party member.
Yeah.
The fighter might be kind of redundant because you have like, whereas like the dwarf, like, okay, here's a question: is this one of those games where if like, even if you have like a party of 4 people, if the quote unquote main character dies, then everybody dies?
No. However, oh yeah, man rot. I wonder what this is gonna be called. In Japanese. Oh, ow.
You were saying?
Sorry, yeah, this guy just about to kill me. I hope he doesn't do that again. Ow. Please hit him. Okay. You get... Hold on. Soul Hard? They, monsters give half EXP if you have a party member.
Okay.
So it might be better.
But
at this
so like
stage.
if you
yeah.
Like to grind a little bit more before doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I guess my question was like, okay, so if you have a party member and the alien, loses all of his health, what happens?
Yeah, no, the other guy will keep fighting. So like,
what happens if the fight ends in that state?
You now are in control of the other character, and like, you don't get to then like swap out your main character, but you do have to go get them revived or whatever.
Okay.
But like, there will be. I'm trying to remember. Like, if you, like, there's a point, like I said, where I still don't know what a bishu is supposed to be. There's a point where you run into the trader apprentice. And so like there's one who's always going to be a bad guy and you're always going to have to fight them in order to like continue. And if you have a party member, your party member will be like, I think you should handle this alone. Which is stupid, but like apparently the way to trick it is to have your character be dead and then
revive in the battle.
Yeah, and it'll let you do that. It's very silly.
I guess it's interesting to me that like I feel like because there were so many JRPGs sort of coming out around this time, like we're sort of at the beginning of the bell curve, right, of JRPGs.
Yeah. At
least in the West. It seems like a lot of them had like these seeds of good ideas, but then like you don't see some of these ideas in games that like had bigger budgets and like more production behind them. It almost feels like the idea of like, I mean, I guess like, you know, you can pick like your party in the first Final Fantasy and you have some like customizations of the main character, but like picking a completely different character at the beginning of the game seems like it not just like an interesting way, like even if they are not really that different, it like still encourages like replayability and like conversation even of like, you know, which character did you use? Oh, I used this character. Which character did you use? Oh, I used this character. Oh, well, this what was different? Oh, well, I had this, you know, I had this robot plot line. It's like, oh, well, I had like, you know, everybody hated me because I was the demon. Like, and I feel like, you know, in like a modern context where like the way, you know, word of mouth is, I mean, word of mouth is always important, but like, you know, a game can get popular because people talk about it on Twitter, for example. That kind of like crosstalk. Oh, did you get? Oh, you got 1 health. You survived.
Oh man, I'm trying to decide how much I want to deal with this guy. If I want to waste.
Can you just run?
I guess I'm just wondering, like, am I gonna try to run and then he's gonna kill me?
I don't know.
Waste my.
How hard it is to run.
Hold on, I'm gonna use my Fakuzan. Did he just dodge my Fakuzan? No, okay. But that's still not very good. It didn't really do very much. Please don't. Okay. There we go. Okay. Whew. Man, rough. Soul hards. Well, that's after leveling up. Please don't be another soul hard. Please, help me.
But yeah, I'm just like, it seems like there are lots of good mechanics that like show up in like one random game in the 90s and then disappeared forever.
Yeah. And then like when JRPGs were most popular, like you were saying, in like the early 2000s, they kind of faded into this like the stories were all kind of the same, but they all had quote unique battle systems. Like I'm thinking about Chrono Cross, right, with like the weird color attack thing. And it's like, okay, if we're being honest, does the story really matter? It's just kind of like a generic anime plotline. Like, I know that people like Chrono Cross and that there's like plenty of things going on, but if we're being serious, like there's a point where you know, how many
rocks can we collect before collecting rocks just doesn't feel that important anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's more to it in Chrono Cross. Maybe that's like a bad example.
I don't know much about Chrono Cross other than that it's not Chrono Trigger. But yeah, I mean, like even this game, right? Like the trope of like collect 7 things.
Yeah. Like, I guess what I like about it is that within that, it's kind of, you learn a lot about the world. It's more about learning about what's going on in this world and finding out that, like, oh yeah, the Tetujin, he's actually a robot from, spoilers, ancient times, and that you get to go back in the past and, like, see his homeland back when it was in its prime and so on. Like, it's less about, the story itself is actually important and more about like learning about the world by playing each of the different characters. I don't know, I guess I feel like, there's Esuna. Maybe I should go for her.
What's her archetype?
She is the attacky wizard.
Hmm.
I don't know if she'll like me.
DPS wizard. Glass cannon, maybe.
Yeah. Like, if you try to play her, she's one of the ones that dies a lot early on.
What's she saying?
Yeah, she wants to join. It might do well if we join together. Are you interested?
I feel like it'll at least bring some variety to strategizing.
Yeah.
And EXP is not quite as high demand in the Japanese version.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely... Oh, there's the robot. He wouldn't be very good for us, though. I mean, I guess... whatever. Let's see. The people in the other town were talking about, they need medicine for their kid.
Hmm.
Oh, the wind arc.
So how many times have you played through the English version of the game? How many times have you beaten it? Which I know is probably a different number than the number of times you've made an effort to beat it.
Right, yeah. I've probably beaten it like 3 times in my life. Maybe 4.
How many times have you tried?
Yeah, I've definitely played it like, 8 to 10 times. Oh, that's interesting. I forgot about this whole detail that there's like a limited number of these Tetujin, and also that they come in different shapes like this guy. But he's like, yeah, there's only like 30 of us in the world. Oh yeah, and there's another one right here. Oh yeah, man. See, and this is what gets me about the game, is that like, because they're machines, they're like, oh yeah, I ran out of memory, so I don't remember where I came from. That like, because it was 10,000 years ago or whatever, that like they just ran out of space and started writing new memories over the top of them. Like, that's what I like in a story, right?
Yeah. That's it. Like, that's an interesting thing. Like, some like weird, like, 10,000 years ago, someone thought like, oh, you're not going to need more than this. And then, I guess, like, if somehow, this robot lasts 10,000 years, I guess what, it'll just start at the beginning and rewrite its memory again.
Yeah. Like,
but I guess also, like, is that kind of, that's also with the 1990s understanding of, like, how computers will handle memory, in the future. Because, like, now it's like, by the time a robot runs out of memory, it would probably just, like, get more memory. Or, like, delete, like, get to pick things to delete. Not just, like, computers nowadays don't just, like, delete your oldest files as soon as they fill up.
Yeah, you can prioritize or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some silly stuff going on.
But, like, I like, you're right, that it's cool narrative flair.
Yeah.
For, like, that being the reason.
And also, so, like, part of the thing is we're about to actually go through...
A time portal?
No. We're about to go through the ruins. And so there's all of these robot guys here who are, like, getting ready to go through the ruins.
So they've all sort of congregated?
Yeah, and so that's why there was all of those robots here, is they're like, I want to go find out about my history because I don't remember, but I'm supposed to be able to enter near here. And I don't know. Then yeah, if you're playing as the robot guy, you get to see some slightly different things. I think there's like, I don't remember, but so how long do we want to play this videos game?
Well, we're coming up at around 2 hours.
Right.
So I guess how are you? Do you feel like we'll come back to this and do a little more at some point?
Yeah, I guess I'm questioning how much I care about actually returning and like trying to beat this game, because it is still a little bit of grinding. I wonder what she's actually going to be like to play. How is she going to do it? Ooh, yikes, that attack.
I mean, I think about 15 more minutes sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I guess I'm just, debating about whether we're actually going to come back and play the game again. I'll see if I can get to Melanam is the name of it.
Where is it?
Yeah, they're still calling it Medanamu. Oh no, his card.
I guess as we approach the end of our 2 hours here, what, having played now this version of the game versus the English version, what are your main thoughts?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same game. Like the translation isn't really that different. But it definitely is taking less grinding than I remember. So that's cool. So I guess I do wonder if it'll be like, I guess where we're gonna see how difficult it is the first time I actually have to fight another apprentice. But again, like how far into the game do I care to actually play?
Right. How many people can you get in your party?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it's one and done.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. But
think
again,
it would be like 4.
Yeah, but I guess the way that battle is plotted out and the way that the story goes, there's a whole lot of stuff about like you fighting the other apprentices and like them coming after you for your runes or arcs, I guess, and so on. So I'm gonna have to figure out which spell is healing. Because I know that she can heal, I just don't know which one of these spells is the healing spell. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to play. I guess, again, there are certain games that I get the desire to play for the mood. And, like Arcana that we played a while back. Oh, that's where it is. Come on, don't catch up to me. And that, like, playing it once kind of gets that out, and I don't want to go through here. I forgot that there's this whole... Oh, right, and I can't. I have to go get the guy. I have to go back now. So yeah, maybe I can just head back to town, and then... Should I get the desire in the future to play this again? Maybe one day we will, but maybe I don't need to beat Nard. Do you guys have any thoughts on Nard?
I mean, it seems like the core gameplay premise seems like interesting, but it feels like they just didn't quite stick the landing on delivering on it. I mean, like again, like the fact that I have just learned this, but like the fact that you can only get one additional character on your team seems like a missed opportunity, even if it's like slow or like sort of gate kept through the game. So like during the first part you're by yourself, during the second part you've got like 2 people, and like so on, as opposed to like being able to grab everyone, you know, after the first boss.
Yeah.
But like, if you're gonna have all these characters, it feels like it would make more sense to like, you know, or at least 3. Like 2, just when you have 7, right? Is it 7?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems kind of like a waste for like
interesting.
mechanical depth.
So, okay, sorry, this guy that come out of the ground and whatever just attacked me. In English, they're called despair. And, like, there's something about there being a monster. Like, you look at this, like, desolate wasteland world, and you're fighting this thing that
Right.
comes out of the ground, and it's called despair. That, like, again, it just sort of captures the mood of this game. And it's called Heat Eye. I don't know why they called it Heat Eye, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that really gets me about this game that you know, I want to like it. I want to think it's fun. I want to be excited about the world. I want to be oops, wow, ouch, he's about to kill me. I want to like this game. Oh, come on. But sadly, it's not actually that great. But thank you for watching me play Nard. Alright, ow! Well, I mean, as you were saying, Glass Cannon, she does a lot of damage when you use the spells, and it seems like she has more capacity to use the spells than she did in English. But yeah, she takes a lot of damage. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, also like, you know, the zoom in on like the actual terrain and like having sort of a translation for that at every single point is neat too.
Yeah, I definitely I feel like that's a big deal, especially from a game of this era. That like to do that now wouldn't really be a big deal, right? That like you're already in a 3D game, and for it to change and then transition into turn-based battle, right?
Right.
Like in a game now, you'd just be expecting to fight. You wouldn't be expecting to go into a turn-based battle.
Right.
So like for the technology at the time, going from, you know, the stuff that you're used to into something like this was like wild. And so like, again, me being 9 years old or whatever, I was like, whoa, mind-blowing. Oops, oh no, I don't have it.
I mean, I'm impressed by how that all looks and seems to work.
Yeah, right. There is something about it that still gets me and still inspires me, I guess. Please don't die. Please don't die. Oh wait, I guess she does have enough. No, why did I do that?
What happens if one of your characters dies? Do like you still lose money or anything?
No, I just don't feel like dealing with healing them. It would just be nice, because also like they don't get the EXP and blah blah blah. So it's like.
You still get half EXP if one of the characters dies.
I think if they're dead and in your party, you get full EXP. Thank you. Please die. Thank you. But yeah, I think we can go back to town, heal up, and then call it a day. If I can get back to town, where is this place?
What do you think of this game, Blue?
It's... I mean, I wouldn't go through the entire game, I don't think, but... I like pieces of it. I definitely like the map transitions. The way that the mini map shows enemies walking around and stuff, but there's no other indication is a little weird.
Yeah, you don't know
And I
what they are.
don't. Yeah.
Oh man,
I like a lot of the concepts, like the character you're playing is interestingly designed. I don't know exactly what is going on in the grand scheme of things. But you
Yeah.
play as a weird rocky alien dude with spike tentacles.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
flame hands.
so I'm on the same page where I want to like the game, but it didn't quite stick the landing.
Yeah. I guess if there was a game, and that's the thing, is like I don't know that I would want to see this game like in 3D, you know, like a modern, completely modern version of this. I don't know that I would care as much. Like
Yeah,
seeing
part of the charm is like when it came from and how well it does some of what it does.
Yeah. And so I don't know, again, that I would care to see these characters all looking like anime, like in 3D and
Mhm.
whatever. But it would be neat to see it done properly, right? Like
Yeah.
if you could have it be fun, have the mechanics built out a little more, and so on.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you to our viewers.
Mhm. Whether you're watching live or archive,
Yeah.
don't say this odd word.
Yeah. I mean, if I record a video and I upload it, it's still a video on demand, right?
Thanks for coming, Quack.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to our one actual viewer. Shout outs. Come join us on Discord. I don't know. Follow us on Twitter and so on. I did enjoy playing the 7th Saga / El Nard. Don't know. I
The
mean, I'm
7th
sure.
Nard and El Saga.
Yeah, the 7th Nard, as I titled it on the thing. Maybe that scared people away. But yeah, I don't know. Probably next year I'll get the feeling to play it again, and I can pick up where I left off. But we don't have to play it next week or whatever.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everybody coming out. You can check us out on our actual internet website, GameCola.net. You can find us on the Discord there, or Facebook and Twitter. Search GameCola and you'll find us. Hopefully, we'll be doing a few more in the coming weeks, a few more game warnings. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let us know. Like and / or subscribe, as they say, on the YouTube channel. And you have any final words, everyone?
I don't, Blue.
If you heard me and were like, wow, this blue guy is the coolest guy I've ever heard in my life, then yeah, come join our Discord where everyone shares the exact same sentiment.
Yeah. I've definitely heard people on the GameCola Discord say that before.
Yeah.
All right.
everyone.
Have a wonderful time of day wherever it is, whenever it is you're watching this archive or live. And we'll see you later.
Goodbye, everyone.